Yo, 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 welcome to the Black Tie Box Office Podcast, the ultimate podcast where we dive deep into the movies that shape our world, exploring the culture, the craft, and the stories that leave us wanting to talk long after the credits roll. I'm your host, Vic Brew, suited up, as you know, and ready to bring that cinematic flavor straight to you. Joining me is my brother, my familia, Dante, and an absolute expert in TV and film. I'm talking like encyclopedia level knowledge. Dude knows everything about any movie, like literally. Dante, what's good, man?
What's up, Vic? You know I'm hyped to get into it. And you also know breaking down stories, shots, symbolism, all of it. Like, let's do it. You know that's what I'm good at.
Hell yeah, you heard the man. You heard him. Now, here's how the show goes. Every episode, we take one film, probably in theaters, and break it all the way down from its cultural impact to the technical brilliance of it, behind the scenes, and of course, the performances that made it iconic or forgettable, depending on how you want to take it. So if you love films, storytelling, deep dives that go beyond the surface, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and let's roll on to today's film. You ready, Dante?
I'm ready, buddy. Let's do this.
Get it.
Let's hit it.
All right, so for today's film, we're going to be doing The Brutalist. The Brutalist aired in 2024, directed by Brady Colbert. It was an epic period drama type of vibe, about 215 minutes long. Very, very long film, but you know, if you sat through it, it was beautiful. Budget was $9.6 million, and it grossed $31.3 million in the box office. That's a lot of money. I know what I could do with that. The main cast was Adrian Brody, Felicity Jones, Guy Pearce, Joe Alwyn, Rafi Cassidy, Stacey Martin, Alessandro Nivola, Emma Laer, and Isaac de Bancoli. Please excuse me if I'm saying these names wrong. I'm not foreign, but I ain't boring. If you don't know about the film and haven't seen it, here's a synopsis. The Brutalist follows Laszlo Toth, a Holocaust survivor and architect who rebuilds his life in post-war America while facing cultural challenges, personal demons, and the cost of artistic ambition. Dante, what do you think about this film?
I love this movie. Vic, may I give my summary of the film, if you're okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, my opinion, my analysis on The Brutalist is I think it's a brilliant movie. I think if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's one of the best films of 2024. I think Adrian Brody is going to win the Oscar. And believe it or not, I got a fun fact for you. The film took 9 years to make because it was in production hell for a while, and Brady Colbert had a lot of trouble getting financing for the movie.
Dang.
And what people don't know is that he even said at the Golden Globes when he won that stick to your vision, stick to your dreams, don't ever let anyone tell you you can't do it. And sure enough, he made it happen. He made the film what it is now. And now to give you my analysis on the plot of the film, I think it was brilliant because it showed the hardships that a post-war immigrant went through. And I also think the movie is essentially about what the American dream was back in the 1940s. Because like you said perfectly, he had all this artistic ambition. He had faced a lot of challenges. He had a lot of personal demons he was dealing with. And mind you, the movie is 3 hours long, but I didn't feel its running time at all because I'm so engaged by the whole film. Like the performances, especially from
No. Don't give it all away just yet. We're going to do some quick trivia just to test his knowledge on the film. He obviously loves the film and just see what he has in his brain in his encyclopedia. So, Dante, who plays the lead role of Laszlo Toth in The Brutalist?
Adrian Brody.
That was kind of easy. You know what? Let's turn up the heat a little bit. That was a little easy for him. In which American city does Laszlo settle to rebuild his career?
Philadelphia.
Okay. You're from Philly, right?
Yeah, born and raised.
Yeah, okay. All right. What major project is Laszlo commissioned with to design the film?
A factory.
Guys, this guy literally knows every answer. I can't stump him. I can't. I mean, let me know in the comments if you think you can, but he's really like that. All right, let's get into discussion. You guys ready? I know I am. You ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. All right, Dante. So, The Brutalist heavily explores themes of isolation and resilience. How do these themes reflect broader social societal struggles on historical moments?
Well, I think that what the film does really well, it shows that how a post-war immigrant at like the challenges that they went through at like especially coming to America, because he wasn't taken seriously because we're from where he's from, and he already faced a certain prejudice. And I think what makes it so brilliant is that he's a genius. A lot of people question his genius, and at the end of the film, by the end of the film, he proves to everyone that he not only is he a genius, he can follow through on all his projects and follow through on all his visions, despite what like his employer thought, despite what his wife might have thought, despite what the rest of the world might have thought. Because like, and also like, there's a lot of also personal demons that he's going through. Now, for spoiler reasons, I'm not going to reveal some of the personal dealings, but like he couldn't, like, here's a great example. Like, it took forever for his wife to immigrate to America because he couldn't bring her because they were separated during the war, and that dealt with the theme of isolation. Like his employer is kind of a prick, to be honest with you. So his employer always questioned everything he did, and like at times would try to sabotage him, which he always could, but he always came through in the end. And I think what's important is that, again, like the resilience is there, and plus like taking place in Philadelphia, I think was very important because Philadelphia itself is an underdog city. Even though, hey, we just won the Super Bowl, for all the Dallas out there, but
Did just win.
but I think the city in that movie of Philadelphia, the reason why they chose that place and not New York is because Philadelphia represents an underdog resiliency, and it represents an underappreciation of sorts, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, shoot. How does the film's architectural aesthetic mirror the emotional tone and cultural context of the character's journey?
Well, there's a lot of symbolism in the movie, and I think the way that he designs his projects definitely set an emotional turn. Even the camera work in the movie, the camera work I feel like is a character in itself in the film, because the camera work shows represents spaces of isolation, represents spaces of there, especially there's this one scene where you see him talking to his employer. The employer's on this side, he's on this side, but the camera focuses a wide shot on them talking. It represents the distance of their relationship. And I also think that you'll see a lot of the camera work also shows a lot of intimate moments with his wife, where there's a lot of close-ups with his wife. There's a lot of close-ups with when they're together, and it shows an emotional closeness or a lack of emotional closeness by doing that.
Yeah. You mentioned the camera work. I noticed a lot of that too, and I noticed that it was shot kind of in a weird old stylistic type of view. What do you think it was shot on? What type of camera, or how did they get that feel for it?
I think it was shot on RE, if I'm not mistaken, but I think they shot it on film because it looked like it looked like to me that it was film all along. Unless unless I could be wrong, but unless they shot they could have shot digitally and made it look like film, but I do think they shot it on film now, which was the right artistic choice.
Yeah,
so
no, for sure. Yeah, it gave it that kind of old school vibe,
Yeah, and I also think, if I might say, I think that this movie is an important film for Adrien Brody, because he won an Oscar over 20 years ago for being in the movie The Pianist, where he played an immigrant. Another great film where he played an immigrant who has special talents. So a lot of people could say, "Oh, he's just redoing what he did 20 years ago." No, I don't think he's
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I also wouldn't say he's redoing it, because both characters are very different, but I also think it's an important film for him, because I feel like he lost a lot of appreciation as an actor after The Pianist, because he did a lot of movies after The Pianist, and he's been around, don't get me wrong, but I feel like people didn't appreciate him as much after he won that movie. I feel like he's going to now regain, since he's about to win his second Oscar. Yeah. He's going to regain a certain appreciation that he lost all those years ago.
Yeah, and I honestly, I see another Oscar on the way.
Yeah,
so being honest.
Oh, absolutely.
Are there any underlying cultural or political messages that the audiences might overlook on the surface level?
Well, I think the fact that immigrants had trouble getting they might see relevance to it today, because immigrants had trouble getting to America at this time, and when they came, that they're again, there was a certain prejudice against them, which people might see that now, because we see that with not to get too political, we see that with Donald Trump and the wall. He's trying to stop people from coming over, and I think, and at this time, immigrants were not respected, and I think a lot of people tried to prevent them from coming over, and I think even now, when immigrants come to America, they're initially scoffed at or laughed at, or they're like, or people say to them, "You don't belong here."
No, the whole immigrant thing and being accepted into a space of culture is it's tough to say the least. And you're right. You know, I don't want to get too political or talk about Trump, but absolutely, you know, it's a tough space. Which actor gave the most compelling performance, and how did they bring it to depth to the character? How did they bring depth to the character?
I think I think it's a toss-up between Adrian Brody and Guy Pearce, because the reason why I say both of them elevated their characters is because Adrian Brody, like you feel his pain, you feel every inch of his resiliency.
Yeah, he really goes in on that performance.
But you also have Guy Pearce, whose work cannot be ignored in this film, because Guy Pearce is a ruthless employer, and Guy Pearce will do anything to get his way, even if it means like sabotaging Adrian Brody's character. Even like, don't get me wrong, he gives Adrian Brody certain wiggle room to do what he wants, but when he's not happy with Adrian Brody's antics, or like to say the least, he gets all ruthless and gets all up in him. There's this one scene again. I don't want to give spoilers away. There's one scene that happens in the movie where Guy Pearce attempts to show his dominance over Adrian Brody, and the scene reflects like him trying to control this one man. And I think the performances are just very compelling. And again, like it's a 3-hour movie, but I think what saves the movie, and this is obviously a compliment because it's 3 hours, what saves the movie is just you're engaged by these characters. Like you're rooting for Adrian Brody. You are disgusted by Guy Pearce, but at the same time, you're engaged by both of them all the way through.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was curious. In the movie, his wife seems to play a big part of his life. Do you think he's truly in love with his wife in the film, or?
I think he is in love with his wife, but the problem is, I think they both suffered a lot during the war, and I think his wife has polio in the movie, and that puts a strain on their marriage, because they're not like. There's a disconnect because she has polio, and and he doesn't know how to respond, or he doesn't know how to interact with her in certain scenes.
Yeah, I don't know why I kind of got the vibe that he almost could live without her, or that he was just doing what he had to do to keep her alive, barely, you know.
Yeah, no, it definitely. I think if she wasn't in his life, he would have been happy regardless. But I do think having the burden of being married and staying true to your soulmate, so to speak, that has a lot to do with the film.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about sound design, and after that, I want to ask you about the score.
Oh, the sound design was brilliant. You really felt every moment. You felt the moments where, they're sad. You felt the moments where he's working on his projects. You felt even the hard moments. The sound design is what really makes the film, because you have to understand that when he's working on his projects, you need to feel that sound. You need to feel the sound of everything going in motion. Yeah. And I think that the sound design all the way through really elevates the film. And I think by like you said, when he's working on those projects, you feel every sound, you feel every tick, you feel every motion, and even the quiet moments, you feel the sound design in those, because there's a lot of quiet moments in the movie, but the sound in those moments that makes you feel a certain way. You feel sad for these people. You feel you feel their isolation.
Yeah. No, and the score, how did the music play a part in giving you that feeling, while you're watching the film?
Oh, the score, again, I know I keep using the word brilliant, but the score definitely elevates the film as well, because when you're watching it, there's a lot of moments where the music adds to the scene, and it adds there's moments where it adds tension, there's moments where it adds to the isolation, there's moments where you feel uplifted, and the music definitely it's almost like in Rocky, and the reason I'm comparing it to Rocky is because Rocky had a lot of upbeat music to motivate you, and I feel like this film has a lot of upbeat music to
keep you kind of
exactly to keep you focused and motivated.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's our review of The Brutalist. Hopefully you learned a little bit about the film without giving away too many spoilers. As you know, Dante is a wizard when it comes to film and TV. Please subscribe on our channel. Write in the comments. Let us know your thoughts. And we'll catch you on the next film.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.